Wow, welcome, one and all.
Hurrah, we did it. Oh my giddy odd. Welcome. This is Keith Fields.
This is Lady Sarah.
And thank you for joining us. Boil your cup, boil your water up, getting ready.
Is someone having a baby live on the show?
No, it's for the cup of tea, darling. It's for the cup of tea. Tea is for Troy. Tea is for Tuesdays, Thursdays, 2 o'clock.
Which is when we're going to be doing this, so remember that time. It's nice and easy to remember.
Easy. And also, of course, we've got some good news coming as well.
Good news doesn't start with tea.
Yeah, I'm trying though, babe. I'm trying.
How about terrific, tremendous, titillating tales?
Yes, so...
Best I could think of.
We have a couple of guests coming onto the show. We have a real special little magician working for us later on as well, straight from the Magic Soiree.
And this is, and this is interactive. There is a little chat window somewhere on your screen, so please find that and say hello to us. A couple of quick hellos. Arthur Otten is out there. Hello, Arthur.
And look, we can put Mike Thornton. Hi, guys. Deep and meaningful there.
Yeah,
deep and meaningful.
So keep the chats going because it's nice for us to know you're listening.
Thanks,
and please share this. Yes, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, let other people know we're doing it. Just to give you a bit of background, we're actually going for a local show.
Yes, we are.
So you are welcome to watch if you're from somewhere else, of course.
Of course. But we are going to interview some very dear friends that we have today. So, but first of all, cup of tea.
Cup of tea, yes.
Spot of milk, darling.
Spot of milk for the
Spot of milk. There you go. Always have a little bit of milk first. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, add your tea. Delightful little bit of Lady Grey we've got here. Always nice.
Personally, I hate tea, so I'm drinking coffee. That's the way it goes.
Perfect, darling. Just great with all the teas. Anyway, let me introduce you. Get straight on to our first guest. She is a lady who I've worked with at the Troy Chamber of Commerce, a very dear friend of ours. We've put on many events together. We're also members of the Women's Business Forum. Let me show you some pictures of this great lady. Look how cute she looks here. Oh, look at this one, Keith.
Oh, a sports lady. She's, amongst other things, the Director of Administration for Straight Line, who are financial advisors. So make some noise and go wild and welcome Beth Mosshart.
Yay, Beth! Let me take that off the background. Oh, my goodness. What was that?
That was meant to be applause. Did you hear the applause?
Oh, I liked it.
That was the best we could do.
Perfect, Beth.
So those pictures, Beth, you've got to tell us what was going on there. I mean, it's we didn't realize you were such a sports person.
Oh, I love sports. I play sports even today. I love the one playing baseball in the street. That was in Massachusetts. I don't know if I was 5 or 6 years old, but it's quite the stance, don't you think?
It is. I think you were really getting down and getting to it. I hope it was what do we call it? Not an outfield. Home run. Was it a home run?
Very good. Very good. That's the baseball.
I've got all the lingo. Oh, yes. I've been doing the research.
He's been doing his stuff.
I'm trying to remember the cricket term for when you hit it completely over the thing. And
a six.
A six.
Yeah, six runs for hitting it out of the boundary or 4 runs.
Constant surprise to me, darling.
Yeah. Another game I know absolutely nothing about. So we'll keep clear of the sports in this program. If you are a sports fan and you're watching, you are in the wrong place. So,
Beth, the Troy Chamber of Commerce. Let's go back to some serious stuff for a minute. The Troy Chamber of Commerce. They're running lots of virtual events, all that sort of thing. Have you seen any of them? Have you been part of them?
I did see the one that the two of you hosted about talking with people online and trying to do that effectively. So I'm trying to do some of the things you said. I'm trying to be animated. I'm trying to be close to the screen. I'm trying to
get rid of the washing in the background. We've got Big Ben over there.
Ben. I have Big Plant.
Good, but a clean background. We like that. That's nice.
I paid attention to the things that you said. I don't always pay attention to you, but I did this time.
For those who don't know what we're discussing here, we did a training for the Troy Chamber on how to do Zoom meetings with just some good basic technical advice on the best way to use this medium, because lots of people are using it nowadays, and we need to get good at it quick. It's going to be an advantage for those who do. So if you are a member of the Troy Chamber, by all means go online. I think the training's still up there. You can check that out.
It is. I found it helpful even when I was Zooming with family last week, which was a wonderful thing to be able to do. And then we had a Zoom staff meeting last Friday at the end of the day with our people who are all working remotely. I'm the only one who's in the office. And so it was wonderful to see everybody's faces. And because I had listened to your training, I was a little more conscious about what I did while I was there.
Lovely, lovely.
Fantastic.
I was not drinking tea that afternoon.
So are you looking forward to meetings getting back to normal, or are you enjoying the Zoom meetings?
There's something kind of nice about the quiet of a Zoom meeting. It's a wonderful thing to be able to be interactive with the people with whom you're speaking.
Yeah.
But I do miss the personal contact with the people with whom I work and our clients that we meet with. There's a little something missing for Zoom, but at least you can see the person's face, you can see their expressions, you can see if they're not really sure what you're saying, which is very, very helpful. Way better than a telephone meeting. Way better than a telephone meeting.
And of course, you're still in contact with clients all the time, and you were talking about 3 different types of calls that you're getting at the moment from your clients, from your investors. Tell us about one of those types of calls.
Yeah, it's been very, very interesting. I don't know if you keep track of the markets, but the markets have been slightly volatile. That's all we'll say, slightly volatile. They've been crazy and kind of out of control. And some people want to talk about how that's going and be reassured about the way their money is invested, or what could they do, what are their options, that kind of thing. So a number of the calls that we have gotten over the past, I would say, months, have been involved with, well, what should I do? Should I make changes? And everybody's situation is different. There's not one answer that's right for everyone all the time. About a third of the calls have been about that kind of call.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And what about other calls? What else have you?
Well, very, very good that you knew that 1/3 was not the entire number of calls.
Yeah, I worked that out.
Maths is one of her strong points.
That's it.
Yeah. Magicians and mathematicians. It's very impressive. Very impressive. The other 2/3 are sort of split evenly. About a third of the people want to know how they can invest more money, because they know that if the markets are down, that's often a good time to invest and a smart market move. So about a third of them have been about that. And the other third, in a lovely way, have been clients calling to check to make sure that we're all right, to make sure that, things are going okay with us. I think partly they want to know that we're still answering the phone and we're still talking to them and that kind of thing. But it's been very sweet. We've worked with a lot of our clients a long time, and it's very, very nice to have them call and check on us.
Yeah. So that's amazing. Sorry, I want to go back to the second group of people who are still investing. I love that. People are still there.
Yeah. It's have you ever heard buy low, sell high?
Yes. I've always gone to the other one myself. Buy high, sell low. That seems to be the way that I invest. My pot seems getting smaller.
Yeah, that's why we're in business, Keith, because they're too confused. No, but there are a significant number of people who have wanted to invest more heavily or to invest more aggressively. If they've been, invested more conservatively, they've decided to switch things around and, jump in more. And that's as I say, it's a personal decision for everybody. It all depends where you are on your timeline toward retirement and towards using money. And there are a million things pardon me, that's a gross exaggeration. There are a number of things that you can keep in mind.
No, but the point is that you're reassuring them. And I should think there's a lot of people who need reassuring. Well, as we all do at this time, being stuck inside, wondering what the heck we're doing.
I talk about being stuck inside. Who are you stuck inside with?
Well, currently I'm stuck inside at the office all by myself, which is really kind of nice. I love my coworkers and I like it when they're all here. But man, I'm getting a lot done because the phone is never ringing. Those are all it's set off remotely. And so that's kind of nice. At home, I have a sister, a brother-in-law, and a nephew, and a dog that are staying with me. And that has been really, really nice to have that company and that support. And in addition to that, I find the support from people who are remote from me, being able to be in touch either this way or electronically, or just even by phone or by text, is really, that connection is just a wonderful thing.
Makes a difference.
We thrive on this human contact, and we've got a different sort of human contact going on at the moment. We all need it, don't we?
We have coming up a gentleman who's reassuring in a different way, though. I mean, I know you're reassuring your clients. He's reassuring all the students in his classroom. So,
Beth, if it's okay with you, we're going to pop you back into our virtual green room.
Do we know how to do that?
Well, we don't know. This is our first time we're doing this, so we're going to press a button and hope for the best. So I'm going to give her a round of applause.
Whoa, we'll see you soon, Beth.
Okay, thanks.
You've gone straight on to a shot of our next guest.
Our next guest. Now, come on. Do you know who this next guest is?
There'll be some of our friends out there that do know who he is.
He's such a wonderful man. Mr. Joe Chasney has been teaching English and leadership within the same school district for over 20 years. He's obviously working from home right now, which he shares with his 2 sons and his gorgeous wife, Priya. And here's a glimpse of him when he was still young. But look, here's another one, Keith. Look at this. What do you think of that one?
Look at that handsome chap. Goodness gracious me.
Please put your hands together for the one, the only...
Mr. Joe Chasney.
Yay! Yeah. Let's get rid of him. There he is. I
was going to say that Joe is one of those teachers that you want to be teaching your kids. We've known him for a while. He's a man of many talents. He's a man of boundless energy. And it's a pleasure to have you here, Joe. Thanks very much for joining us.
You guys are hilarious. This has been a lot of fun to watch so far. I don't know how you guys are making this potentially dull topic of teaching during the quarantine fun, but hey,
we are interested in everything. We're interested in what's happening out there and how you're making it work, because we're not in work. We spend all our days at home working from a home office and writing and stuff like that. So we miss out on the whole work thing. So we find it deeply fascinating.
But Joe, you're also juggling 3 school districts while you're at home. Because you're in one school district, your boys are in another, and of course your wife works in a third as a learning specialist. So tell me, how do you? Those are 3 different rules and regulations.
Yeah. So what we do is I stay here in the office. My wife stays in the dining room, and we lock our kids in the room. In their bedroom, and keep it straight that way. It's best to keep, social distancing within the home as well, I think.
I think that's good. Do the kids have to stay in opposite ends of the basement? Because I know what it was like when I was a kid in the car.
Slide crackers under the door. I'm as you know, I'm blessed with an amazing wife, and she kind of takes charge when it comes to figuring out the boys' schedules. And so their schedule is a bit tricky. They've got a lot of Zoom meetings with different teachers. They've got different requirements from different, teachers. One's in 7th grade, one's in 8th grade. Right. They're both going to the same school. You would think that there would be a lot of continuity, a lot of consistency. Not necessarily the case. So my wife has been great about, really organizing the scheduling with the boys and making sure that they're on track. I talk with them about what's going on in their studies as much as I can. Try to be there for them to help them if they need it. So does she. But they're relatively self-sufficient. One of the boys is having a little bit of a harder time than the other. A few more glitches, technology-wise, and fears of things not working out and not getting credit for his classes. Yeah. The other one seems to be kind of just plugging along okay.
And then in the meantime, you're working with another school district. And how many students are you sort of seeing, as it were?
Well, I was going to say that my wife is kind of in a fortunate situation. She's a teacher, but she's a learning specialist. So she doesn't have a class of her own. So that kind of frees her up to kind of do a few other things. She is involved in what's going on in her school, but it does allow for that, help with the boys a lot more. Yeah. With my district, I couldn't be prouder to work for Fitzgerald Public Schools than I am right now. I think that they hit the nail on the head. We've got an extremely capable and talented superintendent who I've just got the utmost respect for. Her name is Lori Fournier.
What is your teaching methods now with the kids? We'll talk about what parents should be doing.
This is guided through the administration, so that's why I brought that up. And so in any district, you're going to see some differences, and it's really guided, because a lot of times in districts, it's from the ground up. It's a roots up effort, and because of the way that these happen so quickly, it kind of had to be in some senses a bit of a top down situation. Yeah. The way that we're working it at Fitzgerald is that I'm responsible for teaching my students on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm responsible for giving them about a 30-minute lesson, and that includes their work time per day. So for me, my students are only really responsible for about a half hour to an hour per week. Now, I'm only one of 6 of their classes.
Yeah.
So it does add up, and it's a juggling act for those students as well, because they've got to know, okay, I've got to see Mr. Chasney on Google Hangouts or Google Meet, and then I've got to go see this teacher with Zoom, and I've got to go do this, that, and the other. We do try to keep everything very consistent for the students. I was on Google Meet today with some of my students, and they were saying, we meet with some of our other teachers on Zoom. Could you do that instead? Absolutely. I want to make this as easy as I can for them.
Fantastic!
That's good
wow.
news. Good news.
Wow, I'm not sure I could go from platform to platform.
Yeah, they're really kind of faced with a lot right now, and for the most part, they're doing a phenomenal job.
So you're still doing classes with the children, a few classes a day at various times, but for much of the time, the kids are in the under the control of their parents at home. I wonder if you could give us some sort of top tips for how parents could support their children through this from the other side of the coin, as it were.
I've seen this a few times on social media, and I couldn't agree with it more. I think that the people who have the mentality of this is a great time to really connect with your families. This is a great time to kind of, especially if you've got the little ones, teach them science through exploring through the outdoors of your backyard or going for a walk in your park, because we're still allowed to do that. So there are a lot of really great opportunities, but one mistake that I think that we need to make sure that we don't make is that we don't take this too far and too strict and too stringent and too serious. There's a very, very, very strong chance that you're going to get your credit and that you're going to move on to your next grade. And I think that if we take it too seriously, and if we make the mistake of making this something that is a miserable experience instead of a wonderful experience, we could tint education or give it kind of a negative lens instead of kind of really promoting it. And so take this time to just love everybody, love your kids, show them encouragement, show them that they're learning to do new things that they didn't even expect that they were going to be learning. Like, we're learning how to use Google Meet. You guys are learning how to use this wonderful platform here, as we were doing today pre-show, and Zoom and everything else. So take this time to embrace the situation and the possibilities of it, rather than looking at the negative part of it. Kind of what we say, reframing the situation, or looking at the glasses half full instead of half empty.
Actually, one of the things that kids could do is get used to using these technologies and actually do classes and presentations for.
Absolutely, it's the wave of the future for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zoom meetings, telehealth, all of these things that we're doing online, face to face. It's very, very important for their future. So it's a great thing to learn right now. It really is.
Well, one of the many ways that we know you, of course, is as Keith and I run the Magic Soiree every month, and we bring a magician and performers. And
this man here is one of our favourites.
He is. You not only do close up for us, but you open the show for us as well. So how do you bring magic into the classroom? Or do any of your students know?
Yeah. And in fact, this year, for the first time ever, there was a student who came in the first day. He didn't even know me at all. He came in from a different district, and he came in his first day, and there he was sitting with a deck of cards, and he was doing a couple of fancy shuffles with the deck of cards. And I said, this is going to be interesting. Yeah. So I've been having a lot of fun with him. But I will tell you that it's been, it kind of goes in waves for me. But what I implemented this year was Magic Trick Monday. So what I do is on Monday mornings when I come, every day we share good things with the students. So I'll say, tell me something good. And they all share good things, whatever's on their mind. But on Mondays, instead of good things, I'll do Magic Trick Monday. And we've been having a blast with that. And I actually have been doing that. I've continued it on through, the multimedia format, which is very different. It's very different to perform for a camera. So there's been a struggle there, but it's forced me to learn, right? So Magic Trick Mondays continue on. It's been a lot of fun.
So we can bring you back on, and you can do a magic trick for us another day.
I now can probably perform to a camera, like 5 or 10 minutes worth of things that I've forced myself to learn for Magic Trick Mondays. So as long as that's all it takes, I'm capable of that.
Yeah. Well, Joe, on behalf of parents everywhere, I'm going to give you this big round of applause.
Oh, yes. Well done, Keith. It sounds like someone's... What is that?
I don't know. It's the best I can do at the moment.
Okay, that was it.
My sound effect machine isn't very loud. But talking about magic.
We do. We have a friend of yours, a friend of ours, Joe. This is a guy that we first saw perform in Troy Library, of all places. Yeah. A young chap. You know him well. His name is the lovely Cameron Zvara.
We'll just show a video. We're going to
give you a bit of a video.
A bit of a taster, a bit of a clip, because we're learning about the technology.
And we're going to bring Beth back in. Let's bring Beth back in. Beth, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
You're ready. You're ready.
Well, here's a quick clip of Cameron.
We unsist the pocket formula back.
No, you're good. That freaked you out? That was awesome. That was good.
You take a soup ladle, put it in your sleeve, it becomes a floating ball. It's stupid, but I know you're going to try it out when you go home. I know you are.
Wow, where is he? There he is!
Hey, come on. Gotta get my tea. Hold on one moment. All right.
This is bigger than mine.
I don't know.
Is that right?
Obviously, well, because he's doing virtual shows.
Oh, no, we've all got a couple.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Together. Cameron, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, we're excellent. We're excellent. We're on Facebook, and we've got a whole 35 viewers watching at the moment. Let's do a quick shout out to a couple of them, Cameron, because I think a couple of them.
Can we do that? I don't know if we can.
I think we can.
There's this chap here. I don't know, Oliver.
Great. Who could that person?
Who could that be?
He's one of my favorite people.
I don't know. We're just hold on.
Say hello to someone else. Jonathan Usher, look at this.
Look at this. He's in New Zealand.
Wonderful.
Hold it.
We are going truly international.
And then, of course, we got Hal. Yeah. Nicely done, Hal. Hal's another performer miles away. Miles and miles away. Cameron, virtual shows. Are we doing any? We're doing some shows.
Yes, virtual shows. It's a thing. It's happening. It's really happening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find out what a virtual show is really like, because we've invited Cameron to do a bit of stuff for us, if that's okay. Yes. So we're going to hang around in the green room, and we're going to give you the show. We might pop back and say hello, but we're going to give you a lot of support. You'll hear us in the background, hopefully. But
taking over.
Huge round of applause. We'll give you the stage. The fabulous Cameron Zvara.
Hey, what's going on? You know, a lot of people ask me, Cameron, how do you do magic? How do you perform it? So I thought I would explain something called the shiny object principle. It's all about distracting you with the shiny object. You see, when you're looking at the shiny object, you really should be looking over here. You probably missed that. I'll slow down. I'll put 2 coins over here. Now, don't look at the shiny. You looked, didn't you? Because I was shaking. You should have been looking. That's the third one. Yeah. Now, if I put 2 coins there and 1 coin here, now there's a shiny object in each hand. You don't know where to look. Do you look here? Do you look there? I'll keep it simple. Watch me close. I'll put 1 coin into my hand. I'll put the 2 coins over here. You just looked again. You missed it. This coin's already gone.
Oh, man.
One more chance.
Last shot.
1 coin into my hand. This coin's here. Well, you missed it it's gone. You already it's gone. That's the shiny object. It's so distracting you. That's what happens. Yeah. I need a volunteer. Can I get a volunteer?
Hold on. How do I do this?
No,
other one. This one. Sorry, Catherine.
Oh, cool. This will work perfect. Well, help me out, okay? I have a deck of cards. Now, it's not a normal deck of cards. I'll show you why. Check this out. They're all in order, all right? They're all in order like this. But they're not normal because on the back of each of these cards is a picture of a little magician. You see it? He's on the back of every single one of these cards, okay? Yeah. And so the idea is when I flip through the cards, I'm going to stand up for this, that you can actually see the magician move. And he does a trick. He's going to do a trick for us. I'm not going to tell you what the trick is quite yet, but what I'd like you to do is pick a card. Beth, go ahead, pick a card.
Pick a card? I'm telling you what I'm picking.
Not the ace of spades, though, because it's right here, but a different one. Go ahead. You can tell me.
Okay, I'm picking the Jack of Diamonds, please.
The Jack of Diamonds. Okay, let me find it here. The Jack of that. Now, Beth, I'm going to put it up here so you can see it the whole time, okay? It's right there, the Jack of Diamonds, so we don't forget. Now, the magician does this trick, Beth, where Get it on here with the light so you can see.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Perfect.
Well, that's it. That's
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. He reaches up, takes off his top hat, taps it with a magic wand, reaches inside, pulls out one card only, and in fact, it's the Jack of Diamonds, Beth. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. That's great.
Really
It's fun,
cool.
right? It's fun.
So we are doing magic, virtual magic now, which is absolutely fantastic. It's we've got to get our finger out, Joe, and get in on this game. I
yeah,
think.
come on, Joe. You can do this. You can do virtual magic.
Listen,
Not now.
we're putting on the spot.
I think if he's teaching middle school from home, he is doing virtual magic.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here to my rescue.
Absolutely. So listen, we want to round up this little show on a positive note, and we asked all our guests to come up with a couple of positive thoughts that they'd like to share with us at the end. Beth, let's shoot for you first. Do you have a positive feeling that we can take away with us and hang on to for the rest of the week?
Yes. One thing is the Tigers are undefeated. It's late in April, and the Tigers are that is the first one. The second one is, and Joe alluded to it when he was talking about perspective, I think, the difference between thinking about being stuck at home and being safe at home, and being aware when you're watching things or reading things or seeing things that we all bring our own perspective to those. I saw a video the other day of a huge wave. I mean, gigantic, had to be 60-foot wave. And there was a Sidhu, at the base of the wave, grabbing a guy and zooming him away from the wave. It was absolutely harrowing to watch. And my comment was, I can't believe the courage. Someone else had watched the same video and said, what do you mean courage? How stupid is that? She had not seen the rescue of the swimmer. And so her perspective was that the person on the machine was just being silly. So you just have to think about your perspective and hopefully have a good one for most of the things that we're facing.
Yeah. No, that's perfect, Beth.
Thank you very much,
Absolutely.
Beth.
It's
That's
reframing
really-
it, isn't it? It's reframing and rethinking. Yeah, I love that. I love that indeed. Well, what about you, Joe? One last thought to the teachers and parents and students out there?
Yeah, this is a great group of people to, everybody's been very positive here, so it's easy to share positive things. I think that people have a hard time seeing the light at the end of the tunnel or seeing the end, coming. But there's a website out there called We Are Teachers. Great website for teacher resources, and parents can use We Are Teachers now. A lot of free resources if you want to help your students or your children at home with certain things. I was reading some of the comments. People are talking about Khan Academy. It's a great resource. We Are Teachers has a Facebook page, and they ask teachers to post things to the Facebook page. They said, what are you telling your students? And what they found was that they had hundreds of responses, and 100% of their hundreds of responses started with, we miss you. And I think that's such a positive thing because, we miss you could see, again, got to look at perspective, Beth. It could be seen as negative, but we miss you because we love you and we want to be with you. And you know what? This is going to end. And when it does end, teachers across America are going to be, receiving those students with open arms, and we're all going to be refreshed and ready to learn. And so glad to be back when we finally are.
Wow.
That's
That's fantastic.
Good positive news.
That is it.
Cameron.
Cameron?
Yeah.
I can't remember I asked you for a positive thought.
You didn't, but I'll make something up. The big thing for me is just, every day, you wake up at home and you're kind of home. You're not leaving. So having some sort of structure, I think, is important every day, and don't be so hard on yourself. Every hour I got to do this and then this and this. And I know for students, that's kind of how that is with their classes scheduled. But if you want to go sit on the couch and watch a Netflix show, go do it. It's okay, but also don't only do that, get something productive done, but, don't be so hard on yourself through these times, and we'll all get through it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Guys, thank you so much for each one of you. And coming up now as to your credits is a bit of information about you so people can check out your websites. We really appreciate you being with us.
Yes,
today.
thank you so much for joining us on what is our first show. And if you are watching, please give us some feedback. Let us know what you'd like to see, because we want to keep doing this, and our plan is to do it every Tuesday and every Thursday at 2:00, which is why it's
with a cup of tea.
Tea. You see, they all begin with tea. That's
I'm
the
going to
idea.
put this out there, and I'm going to take it up to the green room. Lovely to see you. Take care.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.